Hello and welcome to the 20th episode of the PSPremiere Podcast. I'm your host, James Smith, and today I'm joined by series regular Dory.
Hello, I'm still a series regular. Isn't that fancy? I go by she, her pronouns, and you can find me at Declare192, and good to be here.
Series irregular Mitch.
Yes, I am now in a series irregular. I don't mind it though. No, I'm kidding. Hi, you can find me on Twitter at MitchUp1012.
And friend of the show, host of the 99 Questions podcast, Bob Buel.
I didn't have the gall to plug it myself, but yes, that's me. I'm Bob.
Welcome
and
to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I
guess since everyone else is plugging, I'm Bob B backwards on all the things. BOBBB
There you go.
backwards.
And if you're watching the video version, those will also be there for you. I always feel weird about calling people friends of the show. Bob, are we friends?
Yeah. I mean, you're getting all my stuff in my will, so you better be.
Oh, great. This is the first time hearing about it.
Yeah. All of
Surprise.
this whole enterprise right
All
here.
of this could be yours if Bob dies.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Great.
This creepy
just,
light over here. All yours.
Totally unrelated note, Bob. If a man dressed in black comes around your house tomorrow night, don't think anything of it.
I wouldn't, but now I might. But okay.
So I just want to start off with asking you all what you're playing, and I'll start with you, Bob. What have you been playing lately?
Ooh, good question. Well, this is a PlayStation podcast. So I've been playing Astro's Playroom on my PS5 on
Good
my big
answer.
Seto Kaiba machine back there. And I actually platinumed it as of about a week ago or so, and I've still been hopping in and trying like the time speed challenges. That is a real charming game. Very, very tight platforming, really, really fun. The other thing I'm playing actually for PS4 is Crash 4 right now. I've never been a Crash guy, mainly because I kind of missed PS1, at least while it was like fresh and new, and I had an N64 instead. And so it just kind of buzzed right over my head. I just never got into it. I am getting really into Crash 4. This is a very tight, fun platformer where I can just kind of turn my brain off for a while and collect Wumpa fruit, and it's a very fun time.
Yeah, I'm really God, I'm really tempted to pick that up and give it a shot. I'm not a big Crash guy either. But yeah, full price for. I know it probably has the content to support it, but full price seems steep for what it is.
The only reason I got it is during MinMax's Extra Life. That's the code that I won. Like they said they were giving out random codes, so I got that, and I was initially like, okay, maybe I'll see if someone else wants it. And then I've just fallen down a rabbit hole of Crash, and it's like every night I'll play an hour of it. It's super duper fun.
Bob, you're not
Crash
supposed to fall
Bandicoot
down
is
the holes.
stolen
You're
your
supposed
life.
to jump from platform to platform and not.
This is why it's taken me weeks and I haven't beaten it yet.
Remember when Hansen talked about it taking him like over 100 tries or something to beat that last level? Something wild like that. Yeah.
Oof.
I could see it because I don't think I'm even like halfway through the game, and there are some levels where my death count is at like 30 something.
Yeah.
So like if it ramps up the way I think it's going to ramp up, I can totally see that happening by the end.
I remember there was this one level in the Crash 1 remaster with the Insane Trilogy that took me at least 100 tries, and the solution to actually beating it is so simple, yet I just never considered it. It's the infamous bridge level, if anyone's played that game before, where you have to constantly go over the bridge. I died so many times to that level, and then I watched a guide on YouTube only to find out that you could just like hop onto the sides of the bridge and just get past them
Like
that way.
on
I'm
the
like, oh my
ropes?
God, that's so...
Yep, on the rope.
Yeah, on the ropes, and it's like I didn't even think of that, but now it's so simple.
The level I got stuck at, and I've talked about this before, is my partner and I got stuck at the castle level, and we just gave up.
Yeah.
We gave up, and then I don't even think I so badly wanted to play Crash 1 and then 2 and 3 that because we couldn't finish Crash 1, I just kind of like just went like, ugh, whatever. We're not even gonna play 2 or 3. So I didn't have positive things to say about it. I liked it as a kid, but I don't know how I beat it at all as a kid. It's incredibly difficult. I know Vicarious Visions did a couple of things with the animations and with the collision detection, and so it's actually a little harder than the original. Which, ouch. They like. I guess they've actually said in interviews that they messed up some of the code or something, not in huge ways, but like they made it a little more unforgiving about whether you land on something just by a little bit. But in platformers, that's everything. So,
yeah, I don't think I even got past the first game when I did the remaster. But yeah, Dory, what about you? What have you been playing?
I am still playing Hades every now and then. I am also playing Ring Fit, getting in shape, getting those gains.
Oh.
I have the ring right here.
Nice.
My partner and I have done a couple hours of it. And it's really fun. It's really challenging. We haven't done it in a couple days just because I haven't had time with the Game Awards and the podcasts and stuff and her work schedule. So we're just kind of going to get back to it hopefully tomorrow. But it's been really fun. It definitely leaves you in a lot of pain after you're done. I was just like, my legs were just destroyed.
It's funny because like you go into it thinking it's going to be it's a video game, it's going to be a cakewalk, it'll be like Wii bowling, it'll be a light workout, and then you're just there on your deathbed afterwards.
I do 10 minutes and I'm just done. I'm just done. Wow. I'm like and the variety of workouts they have is really impressive. I've been playing the adventure mode, so I've been really enjoying that. I did finally get back to Plague Tale. I got through another couple hours of that and still really enjoying it. They have this really cool, interesting puzzle where you had to put rats in a pit, and it was like there are a lot of different characters were involved, and like there were lots of layers. I don't usually like puzzles, but I found this very engaging and like pretty simple and intuitive at the same time. But I didn't feel like I was being treated with kid gloves either. It's a very good game, and Hugo is like the cutest kid ever, so it's just a great experience. But that's really all I've been playing. School's wrapping up, so I just haven't had a lot of time.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. Mitch, what about you?
Well, a couple weeks back I somehow managed to get a PS5, literally just out of the blue, which I'll actually get into my story about that right afterwards. And so basically I've just been playing my PS5 the whole time when I'm off work. And I mean, like Bob, I've been playing through Astro's Playroom, which is probably one of the best, I want to say, launch tech demo titles that I've ever played. Just because it's an actual game that I've probably already put about 4 or 5 hours into. Getting to revisit all that PlayStation nostalgia. Yeah,
I don't know if you guys picked up on this as much as I did, but how about that GPU song in the GPU?
Oh, that's amazing. That's
really good.
Oh, that's so good.
Honestly, the music in that game in general is very strong. The soundtrack,
surprisingly enough,
music. Yeah.
And they knew it because there's a wee Easter egg that you can go and find where it tells you the lyrics to the song. They knew people would be into that.
Oh wait, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a religious cult type of message, but no, that's
I would
hilarious.
Love it if
okay, that makes more sense.
Xbox is like a religious cult. That would just be hilarious.
I'm like, oh, what is this writing? I'm so confused. No, that's lyrics. That makes much more sense now. Okay. All right. Yeah. So in addition to Astro's Playroom,
a significantly less cool game to Mitch.
Oh, damn it. Now it's just lyrics. Oh, what am I going to do with it?
I thought it was so metal.
So in addition to Astros, I've been playing Miles Morales onto the PS5, just trying to get the platinum on that. And I also bought into the remastered version of the original PS4 title, which is just amazing on PS5. I can never go back. God, what else have I been playing? Really, I've just been like, those are the main PS5 games I've been playing, and I also got Cyberpunk a couple days back. So I've
That's a
only
couple
managed to play
days-
about an hour.
A
Yeah,
couple days sooner than me, because
unfortunately,
mine
yes.
still hasn't arrived.
Oh no!
Still.
It's not like James
Still
is bitter.
hasn't.
It's just
I know, I'm not bitter. It's
Um,
Anyway, yeah.
it sucks. Yeah.
It's what the game
I'm
sucks,
starting
or
to get Cyberpunk.
No.
Hot take.
Damn.
Yeah, starting off already.
It's
Hot takes.
swinging out of the gates. I played 1 hour. This thing sucks.
4 out of 10. They lied to us. Oh.
That's right.
but yeah, I've been playing some more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I'm significantly hotter on now than I was. It's funny, like we finished recording last week's episode, where I hadn't been sort of drawn into it yet, and immediately when I started playing it after recording that, I got sucked in. It's really, I like the combat a lot more now, and it's like the story is much more compelling, and I'm a big fan of Eivor, the main character. It's really strong in all aspects, really. I much prefer it to Odyssey.
Would you say you got sucked into it just because of like how far you progressed into it, to the point where it's like the story and gameplay opportunities just like branched out exponentially, or it just suddenly clicked
I think
for
it
you?
was partly that, but weirdly enough, I also think it's because when I went to play it after that podcast, I switched it from fidelity mode to performance mode, because I'd previously been playing in fidelity mode so that I could use photo mode and get better screenshots. But then when I decided I probably wasn't gonna take as many screenshots because the photo mode's not that good, I put it on performance mode, and it's so smooth. I think that's a big factor as well.
I was going to say performance modes for me at least is always better than fidelity, just because I think the difference between 30 and 60 FPS, like in the gameplay experience, is just so much better.
Yeah, definitely.
At least for me. Yeah.
I've also been playing Hades. Dory will be pleased to hear. Which I don't think I've become as addicted to it as other people yet, but I can definitely see where the addiction lies. It's very fun, and it's not, dying in Hades is not dissuading at all. You want to keep going, and
it's not like that is the biggest thing in video games that draws me away from. I mean, I just talked about with Crash 1, the remaster, right? I just gave up on playing the other two games. I'm like, if this is what it's going to be, this is miserable. I don't want to do this. But with Hades, it never feels like it's a wasted opportunity. It feels like you learn something. It feels like you learn something meaningful. You get good resources out of it that are permanent. Like, it's really, really well done. You get good story out of it. That's always well written. And like just enough. I don't know how they do it. Thousands of pieces of dialogue, but they always make it so you get just enough story that you want to do another run, but not so much that you feel like, oh, I can just stop for the day. You know, it's just mind blowing. So good.
Yeah, and the music as well. Like, as someone who likes music, I mean, the music is really incredible. It's fantastic.
I'm also a liker of music. I appreciate that about you, James.
My ears have dabbled in some music over the years, once or twice maybe.
I have ventured into the dark depths of what the mortals call the music. I too have enjoyed it.
But Mitch, why don't you tell us about your crazy journey of getting a PS5?
I don't know why I titled it that in the Google Doc, but it is what it is.
Stress audience.
Yeah. It's really not as crazy as it sounds, but I think last Wednesday, actually, I went into my local JB Hi-Fi on my lunch break, which is basically Australia's equivalent of Best Buy. Because I went in there on my lunch break, and I was going to say, okay, I'll just ask them when they think they'll have stock in next. So I asked the guy out the front. Actually, no, I'll step back a bit. So as I was walking up to the JB Hi-Fi, I saw a guy walking out with a Series X. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, like they obviously got some Series X stock in it. He just collected his pre-order. So I walked in there, asked about the PS5s, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we got like 8 in stock just an hour ago. So I'm like, okay, they're probably already gone, but I'll go and ask anyways. So I go to the front counter, and then they're like, yeah, sure, it's like, yeah, do you want one? So I snatched one up, Except by the time that whole process had ended, my lunch break was already over, so I didn't get to eat, and then I had to carry this big ass PS5 in a super eye drop catching yellow bag back into my work. So all the customers and everything were just staring at it, which wasn't fun. I got a bunch of questions about it that whole time, and then I actually had to catch the bus home with it as well. So I couldn't actually have I don't say security, but it's like I had to catch the bus home with a giant PS5 box, which weighed like the PS5 weighs a surprising amount, I must say. It's pretty big.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
It's really hefty, and so I had to catch a bus, a couple of buses actually, to my dad's office, and then I put that there for the time being, and then, well, that's my crazy journey. It really isn't that crazy.
I think that was the craziest story I think I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I'm floored.
That needs to be made into a movie, Mitch. If that's not made into a movie, I don't know what Hollywood's doing.
I appreciate you, Dory. I appreciate you.
Chris
Did
Evans,
anybody
here
look
we
at you
come.
while you were on the bus with the PS5 in your hand? Like, did anybody look at you?
I actually talked with someone. We were like, I mean, we were both sort of joking about how much Sony kind of screwed the pooch on the pre-order situation. But I was talking about how I, spent a whole heap of money on the PS5, and then he was talking about how he spent a whole heap of money on the 3080. So we kind of both bonded over that, I guess we could say. But
I like.
Yeah, no. Other than that, no one cared.
I like how you didn't mention the part where you talk to somebody, because that would have been too crazy.
I know.
Also, he left out the part where he got to the store. They found out he had there were only 8 PlayStations there, and then pushed 7 people out of his way, frantically heading toward the counter.
And all of a sudden, like a steel cage is extended from the store ceilings, and they're just like, fight it out.
I didn't sign up for a cage match.
Some
I
old lady who
specifically
just wants
requested
a
Hell in a Cell, not a steel cage match.
Where's Toby Maguire and what Bonesaw McGraw from from the first?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bonesaw's
Oh
ready.
yeah. Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was a crazy story.
Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely.
Do you know what else is a crazy story?
What is
the story of Sackboy: A Big Adventure?
Oh wow.
It's actually not that crazy. It's pretty.
Pretty. I was gonna say.
But yeah, it's Sackboy: A Big Adventure. It's a 3D platformer. I think it's made by Sumo Digital.
I think so.
Which is not Media Molecule, who's made the Little Big Planet games in the past. I think that franchise has sort of gotten thrown about a few developers in its time.
Yeah.
But I came away from this game. I haven't finished it yet, but I've played quite a lot of it, maybe 10 hours at this point, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I think it's going to make it into my top 10 of the year.
Nice.
It's because I mean, it's 3D. It's definitely one of the most fun 3D platformers I've played in a while. It has that. It has a lot of that Little Big Planet DNA in it. Like, they've really translated that really well. They've captured the essence of it really well. And it's like it just has all that character. Like there's this vendor called Zoom Zoom, and he has a French accent, and it's really played up. But it's very funny. Every time he talks, it's very funny. It's well written, and it's got the music is fantastic as well. I think the music was good. I didn't play a lot of Little Big Planet, those games, but I think the music was good in those, and it's a very similar thing from what I remember. In fact, there's one level where Uptown Funk starts playing, and all the enemies and the items and stuff in the level start dancing to the song as you're going through it. It's really quite something.
It's kind of like those bonus levels in Rayman.
Rayman Legends, yeah.
Or Rayman Legends, that's the one.
Yeah, yeah.
Love those so much.
I was going to say that as well. That's so good.
Yeah, except it's actually a main level.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that kind of stuff, and it like I said, it does have a lot of that sort of Little Big Planet character. The price point is quite steep, but I think it's the only co-op launch title for the PlayStation 5. I could be mistaken thinking that.
I think so, but I mean, yeah,
if you
because
don't, if you don't count Demon Souls, which is kind of co-op, and
Godfall, which we don't talk
about.
I'm pretty sure that game is a prank. I don't think that game's actually a thing.
That's not real.
Yeah, for the price it's at, I can't actually no. For the price a lot of the games are at, I can't imagine spending $70 or 125 Australian on them, which is just insane to me.
It is quite steep, but it does seem to have a lot of content in it. I think there's 5 different worlds, and each of them take a good few hours to get through. And that's if you're not trying to go for 100% completion. That's if you're just going through them each level once.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. I think it's probably one of the most overlooked, if not the most overlooked PlayStation 5 launch title. So yeah, if you're in the market for a co-op game for your PS5, check it out.
Yeah,
I mentioned it to you before. I'm definitely interested because I'm a big, fan of that platformer genre, and despite me not being a Crash person, but that game really did kind of slide under the radar. As much as PS5 did just come out, I feel like everyone's like, you got to play Miles Morales, you got to play Demon Souls, Astro Boy is so good. That's all there is. Don't worry about anything else. And it's like, wait, there's this charming little game over here that no one's really talking about.
Yeah.
And
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it doesn't have a whole lot of mass market appeal, because it is sort of like it feels like it's catered more towards families and kids and stuff. But it's a lot of fun even if you're not that demographic.
Yeah, and I think that it doesn't help anything that the biggest franchise it's attached to is Little Big Planet, which even at its best is pretty niche. Like even hardcore gamers are like, oh yeah, I remember that game from PS3.
Little Big Planet is like that franchise that people like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh well, moving on.
Yeah, it had cool creation stuff, and that's about all I remember from it. Even though they had like a kart racer at some point, also, which is like,
oh yeah,
bananas if you think about it.
Yeah, I think I remember that vaguely.
But yeah,
is that on the Vita? I want to say that was on the Vita. Like that seems like I don't know.
Oh, you mean that handheld system that was featured in The Last of Us Part 2? That one, right?
That one, yeah.
Yeah,
it's never existed otherwise, though. Thankfully,
I do want to say, I went into it just assuming that it was going to be just a sort of generic 3D platformer with Sackboy in it. But as I said, it does really translate the feeling of Little Big Planet, and it's got it's got the bubbles with costumes and stuff in it, and all that stuff. It feels very much like Little Big Planet, just from a different perspective. So yeah, fun game. Check it out.
It really makes you feel like you're on a Little Big Planet.
It really makes you feel like Sackboy.
Before we move on, did you just get the standard version, James, or did you get?
I did, because I'm not paying £90 for a few Death Stranding costumes.
Okay, well, I might. So
you mean the 2019's Game of the Year, Death Stranding?
I mean the 2019 Game of the Year, Death Stranding.
The game that's most appropriate to play in 2020, according to Mitch's editorial.
I mean,
that's right.
very, very subtle little shoulder there. I do love Death Stranding, so
yeah, it's great. That's probably the
who doesn't
main
love
reason
Princess
that
if you like cosmetics, you'd probably be well served getting that edition. I guess. I'm pretty sure they charge more for cosmetics in Fortnite or something.
Probably. And it's Fortnite, so who knows?
Yeah. And also it has Don French in it, if you know who that is.
Oh yeah, I know Don French. Yeah. That's so cool. And also has Richard E. Grant, I want to say.
That sounds correct. We might need to fact check that. But yeah, there's some surprising talent in there. It feels. I will say as well, it feels like quite a British game, considering it's made by a British studio with British actors in it. So there you go. Maybe that's why I like it more. But anyway, so that about wraps that up. Now, despite the fact that I haven't been playing Cyberpunk, because which I'm not bitter about, the Royal Mail screwed me over and didn't deliver it. I'm not bitter. Mitch, you have been playing it.
Every time you say you're not bitter makes me quite the
just
opposite.
a slight pause.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mitch, you have been playing it, which once again I'm not bitter about.
No, not at all.
Albeit for only about an hour or so.
Literally 58 minutes it said on my playtime.
But from what I've been hearing about the game, that is long enough to form some kind of opinion about the clusterfuck that is this game.
I don't think so, actually. Really? I literally just got up to the part where it says Act 1, so I'm assuming I finished the prologue. And so I haven't actually gotten up to the open world, like the world hasn't opened up to me yet. I'll basically walk through what I've done as spoiler-free as possible, even though it's in the first hour. So I went with the Corpo play style, where so basically I began in the Arasaka Corporation. Quite literally, the first thing you do and see in the game as a Corpo is your character facing a mirror, and then they just throw up and take some drugs or something. So that's the kind of tone they're setting with that. And it's it's very corporate. It's your character's constantly being like sort of hailed by people saying it's like, hey, I've got this document, what do I do? And then you have the option to sort of choose how to respond to it. Like I think there's one little side interaction where it's like, oh, hey, we've got this guy who might possibly get blackmailed and he has kids, so, he might fess up. And then you have the choice to either say, pull him out or just keep him going. So it probably isn't going to impact the story in any way, but I think that was like a little cool touch to sort of like
I can't
make
wait
the world
till
feel
like
a bit more
20 hours later in your game, Mitch, that one guy turns out like,
you pulled me out.
You screwed me on my job, and then like he shoots you and game over.
That's the big
I don't even know who you are. Plot twist, that's actually Keanu Reeves all along.
That's right.
No.
I can't believe you made Keanu lose his job, Mitch. You're evil.
I'll probably have some real remorse over that decision then. But yeah, so basically the Corpo introduction has actually kind of felt a bit of a letdown because like they make it sound like they're these big explosive opening prologues or whatever, whereas in reality, literally all you do is just walk around, talk to a few people, and then the thing that kind of sets you at rock bottom as a corpo where they take away all of your money and assets and cyberware and stuff is literally just a few guys come over to you in a bar and it's like, hey, we know you're doing some shady shit. We're just going to take all of your money and cybernetics now. Have a good day. And then it just cuts to 6 months later. Like that's really it. And then I played another mission where I'm now a mercenary and I've got to check on or rescue a woman who's been kidnapped or something. It was kind of hard to follow, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much where I ended. So I'd say like I can't really formulate an opinion on the story at the moment, just because I'm not actually that far in at all.
Well, how about
how
about the moment-to-moment writing then?
The moment-to-moment writing, I will say, is pretty good. Like it's pretty good, and I think the world building's really. It's not comparison, but like it kind of reminds me of Death Stranding a little bit, where they're just like throwing around jargon and stuff, and it's like it actually requires you to like go out and search these little like documents and stuff to actually understand what it means. So I mean, like that's cool, I guess, if you're a lore buff like I am. But also, if you get the physical edition, you actually get like a little compendium guide with all the lore and stuff leading up to that game, leading up to 2077. So that is also cool. Yeah.
Now listen.
So the moment.
Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Mitch, but the question on everyone's lips, I don't mind saying, how did you customize your genitals?
So I didn't actually. I couldn't be bothered. I turned the option on just to see what it was, and I'm like, wow, this is literally nothing. It's literally like for penises, it's literally just like you have a slider that just to make it bigger or make it smaller, and that's really it.
Very cool.
Interesting
Yes.
slider.
I've you know what I've heard from
It's not
Twitter.
even
The most
slider, it's
reliable
just like-
source- I've
Yeah.
heard from Twitter
Oh,
the
yeah.
most reliable source on the that even the smallest genitals is like not even that particularly small, and the tweet
No, it's
calls
really
them a
not.
bunch of cowards.
I think it's you have 3 options. It's literally just small, medium, large.
Yeah, and even smaller.
Yeah.
There you go.
A
And-
venti,
and
a
there's-
grande, and a.
So it's
There's barely a difference between them.
it's not even a customization screen. You're just ordering a McDonald's.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Well,
one comes with
actually,
an apple pie. That's weird.
That's
Speaking
how
of
I
the
want all my
customization,
genitals to come with.
This
Speaking of the
podcast sponsored by
customization, though.
American Pie on DVD.
Oh my god. Oh, speaking of the customization though, I kind of found it to be overhyped because it's not that in depth as it seems, or as it's made out to be. Like there's a lot of like hairstyles and stuff, but it's like I don't know. I just never really. I mean, maybe I just didn't experiment enough with it. But it's like you've just got the standard. Okay, you can change the presets for your jaw, your nose, your ears, your eye. Like on paper, it sounds like there's a lot there, but really the differences, like other than like I guess hairstyle and stuff, the differences between each preset are so minuscule. It's literally just like a matter of like just taking a gamble. It's like, okay, well, I like the look of this one. I can't be bothered to search through the additional 30 presets, which all look pretty much identical for jawline or whatever. So, like, I mean, I'd still say Fallout 4 has probably the best like player customization I've seen in an RPG. Where you could actually literally mold your face instead of this, where it's just presets and stuff.
Did you get a lot of hands-on time with the gameplay?
Well, the first hour really, like, I think the first hour was really just a lot of walking and talking.
Right.
I think there was like one small combat segment, and you also have the option to play through a combat tutorial. The gunplay it's fine, really. I mean, that's what I could say about the whole gameplay so far. Like, I haven't got any like cybernetics or anything, so I can't say how that all works. But it's fine. The gunplay is fine. I did obtain this one cool energy or cyber tech shotgun or whatever, which has no ammo count, but like it allows you to like sort of charge up a shot, which is cool. But other than that, it's fine. On the bugs front though, I must say, like at least after getting the 40 gigabyte patch, it's run perfectly fine for me. I haven't actually encountered any bugs in the hour I have played, outside of like maybe 1 or 2 easily missable texture pop-ins.
And we should say as well, you're playing the PS4 version on a PS5, yes?
Yes. So I'm playing it on the PS5 on the SSD. So I've probably got the best performance possible on a console at the moment. Well, at least on a PlayStation console. So
I personally haven't heard a lot about how it runs on the PS5. I've heard a lot about how it runs on PC and PS4, but not PS5.
Yeah.
I know there's issues on the PS4 with it being like 720p and really blurry and awful looking. Does that stuff carry over to the PS5?
I'd say that there are some moments where I was like, this does look a little like this doesn't look 1080p, but it wasn't pixelated. It was more just like so blurry. It was more blurry.
Right.
But that's probably the most bugs, if you can even call it that I've actually encountered in this in the game so far. Like besides the pop-ins, the game's run fine for me at like a smooth 30 FPS. Although I will say, if you're hesitant to pick up Cyberpunk with all the like console news and stuff, definitely wait for the PS5 patch whenever that arrives. But like when they get the official PS5 patch, I'd say if you have a PS5, go for it then.
That's the thing. Like, for me, part of me wants to wait for the PS5 version, so I don't have to deal with the bugs and everything. At the same time, I kind of want to. I kind of feel like if I don't play with the bugs now, I'll be missing out in some way, because it's like a moment in time, you know. It's like, you know, people will be saying years from now, where were you when Cyberpunk came out as a train wreck, you know?
I mean, technically, you could just slide the disc in and just like cancel any update installs or whatever. But it probably wouldn't be recommended. But I mean, you could do that. You could play the pre-patch version,
James
the
just wants to
1.0
have the
disc version.
sloppiest experience possible with Cyberpunk 2077.
Literally.
It's not the full
Literally.
experience if it's not full of bugs.
Cyberpunk. Oh.
I
Although
mean,
I
if you-
will
if
say
It's grimy as a punk show.
If you played Cyberpunk
Yeah.
and it didn't crash every 5 minutes, did you even play Cyberpunk?
It's true.
well, that's
It's like
the it. Yeah, sorry, it hasn't even gotten close to crashing, let alone having any frame rate issues for me at all so far, which I'm surprised about. Like, I was expecting to see like at least one bug, but nothing at the moment.
Not even a fly on the window.
Not even a fly in the window. Oh,
And they
actually,
call
no.
it dystopian. Come on.
Actually, no. I just remembered there was one really weird bug. I want to say, like, I actually took a clip of it where when you go into V's apartment, you have the option to like Death Stranding, sort of like look into a mirror and like you can make different poses with your face and whatnot. And then I noticed just as I was exiting from the mirror animation, I saw that my character both had no pants on, but also didn't have a penis. So, and then like I looked straight down to my character's feet, and they had pants and shoes on and everything. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Let me just double check that. I go into the mirror again, exit again, and what do I know? My character has a vagina, apparently.
Oh.
For no reason at all. Just in the mirror too. Only in the mirror does.
It's a magic mirror.
It's a genital mirror.
I was so confused. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Why include a slider for a penis
Yeah.
if you're just gonna look in a mirror and suddenly
Well, actually, no. You can give your character that option on depending on no matter the body type and all that. But it's like that was weird. Like, I mean, I've heard of like, you know, characters' junk sort of literally clipping through their pants, but not that before.
I gotta look for
that.
these bugs. This is the most
Just go on
intriguing part of the
Reddit.
game for me so far.
That's,
Okay.
that's why I want to play it now.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know what? At first I thought you were like, I don't know if I could agree with your sentiment of like, I would need to play the buggy game. But the more I think about it, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe a lot of the entertainment of this is,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
quite sure what you're going to encounter. Who knows what's meant to be there, what's not meant to be there. Maybe you're right. Maybe you do have to get this game now. Royal Post.
It was a strange experience, but I think look, if I had to give it a rating right now, which I mean, I probably doesn't mean
Of the
anything because
first
I
hour alone,
haven't
yeah.
even started. Of the first hour,
First
probably
hour.
like a 7.58 out of 10
7.58
Like
for
it-
the introduction to Cyberpunk.
for the
2077.
introduction to Cyberpunk.
You heard it here
But-
first.
There we go.
Yep.
7.5 out of 10. Rate us
And-
like you do GameSpot.
I'm looking now.
Oh no!
Twitter has already canceled us.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know how it's happened so
Oh
fast.
damn!
They said
Oh.
anything lower than an 8 and you're a hater.
I-
Amazing. How did this happen
I-
so quickly?
Actually, speaking of Twitter, I just saw a tweet now which said the Stadia version of Cyberpunk 2077 unironically runs and looks better than the PS4, Xbox One versions, assuming you have a really, really good internet connection.
Oh my god, am I going to have
Which
to get
is-
this on Stadia?
Let's not
The
jump to
biggest one-
ends.
Stadia
Come on.
gets the
Biggest plot
Stadia
twist of
just
them
for
all,
Cyberpunk.
Is that Stadia runs really well in 2077.
The one true console.
That's
Right, there you go. So if you're in the market for a buggy game, you can get Cyberpunk, or you can get Bug Snacks this year.
That's
Uh,
right.
Options are plentiful.
So yeah, join us in the next episode for the bug report when Mitch has made it further through the game.
Yes.
But yeah. In more interesting news, perhaps, Oscar Isaac is set to play the role of Snake in the forthcoming Metal Gear Solid movie, which is apparently still happening. So, what do we think?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. What do we
That's
think
the
of this
thing,
casting
like-
choice? Huh?
I'll let you go first.
Well, I love the casting. I really think he can do a great job with it. Granted, I haven't seen that many Oscar Isaac. See, I can't even remember his name. That's how little things I've seen him in. But I think he can fit that roguish, tough, gruff, kind of speaks in sound bites type character that Solid Snake kind of needs to be. I think he could do a really good job of that. My biggest holdup, not to divert the conversation, is whether this movie's happening at all. For all intents and purposes, it is, but it was also supposedly definitely happening in 2016. It was also definitely 100% happening in 2012. And then I think in like 04 and maybe again in like 08, it was also like, oh, we're like 99% there, definitely happening. Director's locked, script locked, and then every time it falls through the cracks. So like,
I would love to see it. With the, that's the thing with the movie industry for me. Oh, sorry, you go, Dory.
Mitch.
You go, Dory.
Okay. This is what I have to contribute to the conversation. My impression of Solid Snake. Okay, right? Here we go.
Oh.
Metal Gear. There we go. That's my
fantastic.
Infinite
Round
ammo.
of applause.
I honestly, literally have very little to say about this. So there's my contribution.
I will say for Oscar Isaac, I will say that he's both the most like obvious choice for Solid Snake, yet also the least expected choice for Solid Snake, if that even makes sense. Because it's like you see the casting, it's like, oh yeah, of course, Oscar Isaac, and except like you would never have like immediately gone to him.
Yeah.
Like in your mind, like I mean, I couldn't actually imagine anyone playing Solid Snake, to be honest, just because he's David Hayter basically.
Yeah. Except for David Hayter, that's the only person I could have.
Yeah, except David Hayter probably can't play Solid Snake himself in a movie, so they kind of caught up in that front. But
Right.
I think they should have just got Kiefer Sutherland.
Obviously.
No.
Get Hideo Kojima himself to play Snake.
Now
Kojima would do that actually. I wouldn't be surprised if he would. He would do that.
I mean, he finds a way to cameo in at least half of his games, if not all of them, in some way, shape, or form.
He'll make one cameo, and the credits will just be Hideo Kojima.
It'll be like the post Metal Gear Solid 5 mission credits after every scene in the movie.
It's like in The Room, where it's like directed, starring, featuring, edited by Tommy Wiseau.
Hideo Kojima. But I think, I was going to say one thing. Why I do have faith, at least for now, in this movie is because the director Jordan Vogt Roberts, who also did Kong Skull Island, which is a fantastic movie, by the way. Yes. Like, people slept on that movie. He's doing it, and he clearly has a love and adoration for Metal Gear and just, I guess, Kojima in general. To the point where it's like you can tell that, movie industry aside, because I know they love to, the corporate side loves to meddle in shit which I don't even comprehend or understand. He at least has a passion and love for this series. So if that shines through, then I have faith that it will be at least a faithful interpretation. I can't say good, but at least like one that will try its best to stick to the material.
Are you saying that Paul W.S. Anderson doesn't like Monster Hunter, Mitch?
I don't know. It's up in the air. I mean, but I will say that Guardians of the Galaxy reference and having his wife play the main character in literally every single one of his movies does lend credence to the fact that he has indeed played a video game once, maybe, in his life.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think if this movie does take off, the Isaac might just take the Oscar.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
See you later.
If it wouldn't have messed up the recording, I would have actually just left and rejoined back in.
The power move.
Oh.
All right. I really do love Metal Gear. I honestly do. Like the whole series, as campy as it is, as cheesy as it is, as up its own, but as it absolutely is in terms of lore and story.
Yeah.
It's just so dang entertaining. And there's at least one thing in every game that he does that is just like, my nose is bleeding, my ear is bleeding, amazing. This knocks me to the floor, amazing. And as long as Hideo Kojima keeps doing that, I'm gonna continue being a fan. So like this movie, I'm really, if it does come out, knock on strange light, if it does indeed come out, I'm not saying it needs to change the world in terms of, being groundbreaking or whatnot, but I don't want it to just be an action movie. That's all I'm hoping, because I think it's super simple for them to be like, okay, Snake goes into a facility, beats up 400 people, punches a guy named Ocelot in the face who has 2 lines in the rest of the movie, and then walks away with Meryl on his shoulder, and the two of them smooch, end of movie. Like that's the Hollywood way of doing it, and I just really hope they don't, because there can be so much nuance if they want it to be, and they don't have to do everything. I'm not going to be one of those people that is like, no, Gray Fox says he was from Zanzibar land, not Zanzibar. What are they even doing? Like, I don't want to be that person, but at the same time, if they boil it down to Solid Snake's a man with a gun and that's it, I think that's being a little bit reductive of what can be a very, very interesting movie. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think Oscar Isaac can bring a lot to it if they do it right. So staying hopeful.
Could you imagine if they were worried that this movie wouldn't get a sequel, so they just decided to do the plots of all the games in the one movie?
So they would have to start in 1964 and then go up to, I believe, 2027. Hold on, let me
but they include all.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh my god!
This is my Metal Gear Solid 5 book. Here's my double-sided.
No. World's biggest Metal Gear Solid fan, everybody.
Oh my god!
Art books. To be fair, I really love the art and style of them.
Yeah.
But also here's another 3 books all on Metal Gear. But we're not going to get into that.
They'd have to include the time jumps as well, so it'd just be going back and forth. Everyone would be confused.
Oh my goodness.
But where's the extended 15-minute sequence where Snake has to find a hard drive to pull out in a movie theater or something?
It would just It would just be that and characters spouting exposition the rest of the time.
Literally. That actually reminds me of something. How I'm really interested to see how they're going to do Psycho Mantis in this movie, because his whole thing was you're in a video game.
What if they tap into everyone's Wi-Fi and their Netflix accounts and it's like, oh, I noticed you've been watching Queen's Gambit lately.
Very good choice.
So you're saying Psycho Mantis has to just be Facebook and privacy breach everyone in the theater?
It was me, Zuckerberg, the whole time.
Do you think
Psycho Mantis played by Jesse Eisenberg?
Do you think if that boss fight would come out in 2020 that people would be upset about it, breaching their privacy?
People would absolutely be upset by it. Like quick tangent, but people would absolutely be like, "Holy shit, this is technology and they're tracking us." Ooh. Whereas back in 2000? No, the very late 90s,
98, yeah.
Yeah, the very late 90s, people oh, that's cool. It's creepy, but it's cool. I'm not going to think anything about it.
I think that sums up Hideo Kojima's games pretty well in general. Creepy but cool.
Probably about right. I would love to see them do something just out of the ball, out of the park crazy on that. But
yeah,
we shall see. You know, they have a lot to work with. They have a lot to work with.
Arguably, they have too much to work with.
Oh, do I need to show the books again? They have too much to work with.
For any audio listeners, Bob currently is surrounded by books. He's in a library of Metal Gear Solid right now.
It's
Literally.
Sounds like a really cool lyric. Like you're in a library of Metal Gear Solid. I don't know. That sounds like an awesome metal track or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like an album name or something.
just for reference, just the ending, post-credits ending of Metal Gear Solid 3 is about an hour long. So whatever this movie's gonna be, let's try to keep it under 3 hours, but oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is probably gonna be it'd be best suited for a Netflix series or something.
Yes.
But
yeah,
honestly,
yeah. I don't see why they're making it a movie, but good for them, I guess.
I mean, are they just taking it from the first movie, or is it from the whole series?
I'd assume it's the first movie because the directors posted a bunch of concept art already, a bunch of great looking concept art as well. But it's he's posted a bunch of concept art, and majority of it, I'm pretty sure, is from the first MGS.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, they literally did have a re-release of Metal Gear Solid 1 that was basically an action film. So there's your blueprint right there.
Twin Snakes or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, Twin Snakes, right?
It was basically a John Woo movie of the first game. It was something.
Maybe it'll just be an original story. Who knows? But anyway, we should probably move on because we've been talking about Metal Gear Solid for a while. In other news this week, apparently PAX, the organizers of PAX, seem pretty confident that they're coming back in 2021. I don't know if they should be so. What do you guys think?
I'm pressing X to doubt on my keyboard right now. I'm mashing the X button.
Yeah, I love their optimism.
You gotta love the optimism.
The vaccine is not being distributed until maybe it's only barely just been approved by the FDA, or it's going to be approved very soon. Yeah. But even then, it's only going to be distributed to healthcare workers first, and then we're probably not going to get widespread distribution until spring, which is March or something.
Between March and June-ish, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
things aren't going to return normal until late 2021, and that's optimistic.
But what does an event like PAX look like at that point anyway? Do they still take precautions, or is it just a free-for-all?
I think honestly you could just have a digital PAX event. If they mean they're going to be back as in I think they mean event, that's ludicrous.
I think they mean they're going to be back in a physical fashion.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I suppose there's a way to do it without opening it to the public, but
that's what PAX is. PAX is a public event.
That's like saying a Comic-Con, but look at this comic book through a screen, through someone else recording it from home. Yeah. It's not, half the fun is going there and seeing costumes, and I've been to my fair share of conventions, and I'm very sad I missed out on them last year, among other awful things from last year. Well, this year. Wait, what year is this?
Nobody knows.
But it's you read enough Kojima, no one knows. It's going to be very interesting. I don't think they're going to be able to do what PAX was in 2019 or 18 or 17 in 2021. I think whatever it is will hopefully be modified or adjusted in some way. I would at least hope, but I think at least saying that we're going to do a physical show, probably they can pull it off, but at what cost?
I reckon the number of attendees would be less, probably at the very least. I was actually going to go to my first event this year. I was going to go to Gamescom. I was very excited to go to Gamescom on the year of a console launch.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that didn't happen. But I don't know. I don't know that I would be comfortable going to an event like PAX, and I imagine a lot of people probably feel the same way. So even if they did open it, I don't know how many people you'd see going. Like, would it be successful?
I mean, you probably mentioned this, but it's like you've got to also take into account the fact that it's like a large majority of people would probably be swayed away from even attending in the first place. Like, actual restrictions, the venue and stuff have placed aside. Like, there's probably going to be a large amount of people who will, by themselves, choose not to go to PAX because they don't want to.
Like,
they don't want to risk it.
I think Bob is gonna know what I'm referencing here, but he and I both watch wrestling, and so like AEW, for example, like they have audiences, but it's a shell of its former self. I mean, they're one of the biggest wrestlers ever just came back like last week, and I mean the crowd was hyped, but it was clear that the crowd wasn't much
that much.
Yeah. I mean, literally the only way they can do those live shows, and that's a very good point, Dory, is like the fact that AEW, which is like not WWE, but like I guess their biggest competitor at this point, is owned by the same person who owns, the son of the owner of the Jacksonville football team, Jacksonville, Florida. So they got basically a small outdoor arena, filled it to like 10% capacity. Everyone in the crowds have masks, and you're allowed to sit next to your friends, but then everyone else is at least 10 seats from each other. So you still hear the ovation of the crowd. And just like Dory said, like Sting, one of the like all-time greatest wrestlers of all time. I'm a wrestling fan in case I didn't shine through. Came back 2 weeks ago, and like he deserved the whole 40,000 people flipping out in ovation. But
wait, did you say Sting?
The man called Sting.
Like from the Police?
No. Oh, Smithy, no. There are two distinct Stings. One who is a singer.
That's one
thing
too
guaranteed in life, and there are two Stings guaranteed in life.
So yeah, I mean that's like the best solution they can come up with on that side of things. So, but I also think Mitch is totally right in terms of people are going to naturally stay away. Like if someone said, here, you can go to New York Comic-Con, which I've gone to the last 3 or 4 years, if not longer. And like, they're like, here's your ticket if you want it. I would really need to think that over, because I don't think I would be comfortable, going unless I knew I had a bulletproof vest of a vaccine on. And even then it would, I'd have a lot of hand sanitizer.
It'd just be like that guy in the Cat in the Hat movie, just with like a belt holster with like a hand sanitizer.
A little squeeze.
Yeah.
But consider, if nobody wants to go, then you could go and be the only one there.
Ooh. What's the fun in that, though?
There's no fun.
What's the fun in that, though?
No queues.
It's like it'd be really awkward. Like, I mean, sure, the lines would be like non-existent, but it's like after a while, like you'd just be like roaming around empty halls, like with just like attendees and like workers there, just sort of staring at you, like, please come to our stall, please visit us. Just death staring at you the entire time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So probably not a good idea. To reopen that so soon, which is, I mean, they have to make money, I'm sure, but yeah, there's other things you can do. So also last night, as of the day of recording this podcast, was the Keeleys, also known as the Game Awards, where although they should probably be called the Game Announcements, because there seemed to be more of a focus on the announcements rather than the awards.
I think it was Dory, maybe, like you pointed out, like about 2/3 of the way through the show, that it's like we'd gone like a good 20 to 30 minutes without an actual award.
I think that was Marvel.
Marvel. I think it was Marvel. Yeah, like we went, like there was long stretches of time between awards, and when they would do awards, they just like rapid fire through like numerous of them without any fanfare.
It was so breathy. I'm not sure if that's the word. Like it was
very fast paced.
And then this award, and then this award. It was just like,
I mean,
give it some space and time. Like, come on.
I knew it was going to be
Yeah.
the case as soon as they threw best score out right away in the pre-show.
Yeah.
I
mean,
honestly thought that was borderline offensive. Like, those people work really hard on the score. You're not even going to put them in the main game, in the main thing. Like, come on.
Not to mention, like for some games, the score is probably like one of the most important parts of the game.
Yeah,
Like at least to achieve
best
certain
mobile
moments.
game
Yeah.
in the main thing, but they didn't put best score. Like, come on.
Well, no, because the best mobile game got them a sponsor, so of course they put in the main show. Best score doesn't get them sponsors.
That's true. They do also have a custom Keeley face for Among Us. So
And listen, right? Speaking of sponsors, we have to talk about the biggest offense in the whole show.
Ah, yes.
The fact that Hydrobot didn't show up.
Mm.
Come on, Jeff. Get your act together.
We want Hydrobot.
We want Hydrobot.
Actually, no,
I mean,
let me
and he's
correct myself.
COVID ready.
James wants
He's COVID
Hydrobot.
ready.
I have my picket sign in the other room.
Yeah, but speaking of game announcements, there was a lot of interesting stuff that we should talk about. We're not going to talk about Perfect Dark because, you know, between me and you, this is a PlayStation podcast, so we probably shouldn't talk about Xbox games. But we will talk about It Takes Two. I think this was Marvel's favorite game of the show. This is the new
it
game.
seemed to be a lot of people's favorite
is
game as well from the show, surprisingly.
Yeah, this is. I was trying to be funny. Because he was freaked out by the book and never mind.
Oh shit! Right.
Oh yeah, it had those freaky eyebrow / mustache.
God, that was so
bits.
weird.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this is the new game.
Yeah.
This is the new upcoming game from Hazelight, the developer behind A Way Out, and headed by #1 Oscars anti-fan Joseph Fares.
Oscar Isaac.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere.
It all comes back full circle.
Yeah, what did you guys think? Other than the book, what did you guys? Because I thought this game looked really interesting.
The art style was interesting. The plot is kind of weird. It's like about bringing two people back together by forcing them to go through these trials and tribulations, I guess. So.
Yeah. It's another co-op game, which I was happy about. When they said it was going to be another co-op game, I imagined it was going to be the same kind of game as A Way Out, with the same kind of realistic art style. It was not that. It was about the furthest thing from that you could imagine. So I was
kind of Toy Story-esque in a way.
Toy Story, Toy Story on acid is how I would describe it.
Yes, very good way of describing it, actually.
Yeah, you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to what it's going to be. The trailer is very eye-catching. The music was very good. It does have that very distinct art style. I think the story, they can very much drop the ball on it, or I could see this totally being a game that's going to make me cry by the end of it. Also, because I believe the designer also did
Brothers. A Tale of Two Sons.
Yes, Brothers, The Tale of Two Sons. Yeah.
Oh, which is just such a heartbreaking game. If it's anything like that, I could see this game putting me in complete shambles by the end of it. But I'm intrigued. I want to see more of it at the very least.
They showed
I'm not going to pre-order it, but I want to see more.
Yeah, they showed a surprising amount of gameplay and that sort of thing. I think they definitely piqued my interest towards the second half of the trailer when everything started to pick up and get faster paced. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I've said it before. EA Originals consistently pump out great stuff, and nobody seems to take notice. So hopefully it does well. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's partially because EA just doesn't put that much money into marketing them. Like I'd say
true.
they get their minimal returns from putting barely any money into marketing or whatever.
I will say
they actually gain a better profit.
I will say, I've said before that like EA Originals is the least EA thing that EA does because it's very much focused on not them making profit, but ironically, it's a very EA thing for them to do, to put the most marketing out of any of those games into the one that has the realistic art style.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Was there any other games that you guys want to talk about straight off the bat that piqued your interest from the show?
Yeah, I really want to talk about the one that had a lot of nature in it. It's called Season.
Season.
Yes.
I was
Season,
absolutely
yes.
in love with that art style. That seems like such a cool, chill game. As long as it doesn't overstay its welcome, which unfortunately happened with Spiritfarer for me, even though I really like that game. It's just not my genre. I think that will be a really cool game to kind of relax to and like not take anything like super seriously. It just seemed like a really nice game that you could just play and not have to worry about too many things.
Yeah, I wonder what that's going to be because they didn't. I feel like they didn't give a whole lot of context about what you'll actually do in the game. But I mean, that art style is ridiculously eye-catching.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a Flower, or one of those like PS3 games that kind of showed off the tech in a way, but also had this Zen aura around it. And yeah, Season was like I just pulled up a list of games that I texted my buddy yesterday. We have like a group chat with a bunch of us nerds, and Season was the second one that I put on there because I am very hyped for that game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my other really hyped game, if you don't mind me cutting in, is Disco Elysium. The final cut
yes.
for that. I don't know if I'm gonna. I was originally gonna pick it up for PS4, and I guess I still should because I was thinking about doing a review for it. But you get a free update no matter what platform it is. But I don't know. I love that game so much. I might just support the publishers, get it on PS4, and then review it. But I freaking love that game so much. It was basically, if Kingdom Hearts 3 hadn't come out that year, it would have been my game of the year. And even though I think Disco is a better game than it, I just have the emotions for Kingdom Hearts. But
sure. The thing is, for me,
awesome.
with Disco Elysium, I bought it on PC, but I'm considering buying it again on PS5 when this version comes out because the trailer said that it's going to have full voice acting.
Yes.
Does that mean, was there no voice acting in the original version,
No,
or
so
just less?
there was partial voice acting. Some lines were voice acted, and then sometimes they weren't. It's not as off-putting as you think because usually it's like the introduction to the conversation has vocal lines, and then you get into the options for everything,
Right.
like what you can say and what they'll say back, and then usually that's not vocal after that. The most important scenes I think were completely voice line, but I mean I don't know. I think the director said about the game that there's like 1 million words in this game or something. Like it's absolutely, if they've really done and I have no reason to believe not, but if they've really done a vocal line for every single line in the game, I mean that is incredible because this game has a ton of text.
Yeah.
I think also, I mean, isn't the director's cut update like just coming to all platforms or all pre-existing users for free as well?
Yes.
So like technically, James, you could get the full voice acting experience for free on PC still.
I could if
you
I
don't
wanted to play it on
wanna
PC.
pay
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably rather play on PlayStation, but yeah.
Same.
That is interesting though. I'm glad that's finally coming to consoles.
I do want to put out
Consoles,
that they are also having new quests and new characters and stuff that are also being included. So I think that's really exciting. That's also what's going to get me to replay it too. I was already going to replay it anyway once it came to consoles, but I also just want to emphasize it's awesome that they're just having a free update because they could easily like charge like $10 or something, but they're just being nice and saying, nah, it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great just thank you to the fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like there's a lot of that going around, especially with indie developers these days. So that one's coming out in March. All these seem to be coming out in March. You know, that's coming out in March. It Takes Two is coming out in March, and also Returnal got a release date of March 19th. So we got an updated look on Returnal. I saw a few people on Twitter say that because the trailer opened with the character in first person walking towards the door. I saw a few people on Twitter saying they thought it was going to be PT.
I kind of did too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was the obvious bait and switch there. Yeah,
I didn't think it was going to be PT because I never played PT, but I can only imagine how heartbreaking that was to get people's hopes up like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time though, it's kind of like a genius, like little piece of not marketing, but like genius piece of like
Getting people
like
interested in
intro,
stuff,
like
yeah.
it to like get people hooked. Is like, oh wait, is this PT? Oh no, it's just Returnal.
It kind of
Which,
reminds me.
But you're already there. You're already watching.
Yeah, exactly.
But it kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of a trailer for Session, that skating game, a couple of E3s ago, the Xbox presser.
Oh, yeah.
That trailer went on for like a minute. No titles or anything. Realistic looking skateboard game. I was shouting at my screen the whole time, "Oh my god, it's Skate 4, it's Skate 4,
Oh
finally!"
no!
And then the title comes up, Session. I almost threw the remote at the TV. I was crushed.
Oh.
So
Did it like linger on like the first S as well? Like S Session.
no, I think it actually came up Skate 4 and it went back. Oh no, Session.
Quickly backspace.
backspace.
So are you guys looking forward to Eternal?
I would have been if it wasn't going for full price. It's up for pre-order now on the PlayStation Store, and it's up for like the full $70, 125 Australian price. So I'm like, yeah, I can't. Like, I mean, unless the game, like, I'll wait for reviews definitely, but it's like unless the game turns out to have like, wow, like 30 plus hours of content and it's like some amazing enriching story, which none of the trailers or material so far has led me to believe is there. I'll probably just be waiting on it for now. Honestly, I can't really imagine spending full price on that game personally.
Honestly, I know I come off as like a huge fan of roguelites, but honestly, I just like Hades, so I don't really have any. I don't really have any interest in this game genre-wise. If it's good, then maybe, but not for $60. I can't imagine playing a roguelite for $60 when
$70 actually.
$70,
yeah,
right?
$70 as well, like even more.
Yeah. That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
I think the biggest surprise of the show, or one of the biggest surprises of the show, was Vin Diesel taking center stage in a trailer for a game we all assumed was Horizon 2 or Dino Crisis or God of War or Turok.
I thought it was Turok or Tale of the Sun.
And it
literally anything other than Arc 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Arc 2. Yeah, literally anything other than Arc 2, which
it's like Turok, but it's like Turark.
I
stole that from Austin Walker. I just want to be clear. I stole that from Austin Walker.
They actually did the same trailer title thing where they typed in Turok and then they removed the few and Turark. Yeah, there you go. The interesting thing, I think what I was more interested in, the most interesting thing out of this for me, was the fact that they also announced an Ark. And I'm not interested in Ark at all. I've never played it. I had no interest in it ever.
I didn't even know what you're saying.
They announced an animated series for it, which has a star-studded cast, including David Tennant.
What?
Famed, world-renowned Scottish actor David Tennant.
They got Vin Diesel. I mean, what a big breakthrough!
Oh yeah,
them, right?
Vin Diesel. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what a big break for that guy. Yeah, good on him.
My favorite tagline for that for Arc 2 is "The Past and the Furious." That was good.
Yeah, that's all around Twitter. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I firmly will not be playing Arc 2, but that anime, maybe.
Could watch it. Big Vin Diesel fans in the house.
What is Vin Diesel in the show just going to be talking about how like the dinosaurs are like his family or something? Like that we all should respect dinosaurs because they're like family.
And then he gets on one, and everyone else gets on one too, and they go and
they fly to space and
they do drag races.
And they like
on
jump into a skyscraper or jump out of a skyscraper from the outside and land on a roof on a T-Rex. It'll be great.
And they meet up with Dwayne Johnson, and Dwayne Johnson's like, "Hey man, you stole my tattoos. What's up with that?"
This is too good. You got to save this. This is going to be actual Arc 2 content.
Right. You guys like PUBG, right?
Sure,
everyone loves PUBG.
I did.
the most. I think it's the most played battle royale ever. I don't think there's one that tops it. Right?
Nope.
Nope.
None.
Nothing I can think of.
No.
It's the peak of the genre.
That's right. Well, there's a new game. There's a new dog in the house. A new game in
I
the
love
PUBG universe. From I've forgotten the name of the developer already. It's the
Striking Distance.
Striking Distance. Thank you.
Yes.
The studio set up. That's the studio set up by Glenn Schofield of Dead Space fame to make games set in the PUBG universe. So what he's decided to do is make Dead Space in the PUBG universe.
Yes.
So
For some reason.
I mean, it does look. It's called the Callisto Protocol. It's coming in 2022, and it looks interesting. It was a CG trailer. I'm not sure what to take away from that. Because it didn't really show much, but also at the same time, it was a guy in a prison cell, it looked like, being attacked by some kind of monster thingy. And then there was somebody watching him on a security camera, and a bunch of other people also in prison cells. So maybe it's some kind of PUBG horror game where there's a bunch of people trying to escape this prison with monsters in it.
Look, as long as the game doesn't use the actual PUBG engine, I think it'll be infinitely better than the actual current PUBG. Because this was a pretty good, intriguing CG trailer. But if we have to get the stock PUBG animation where you've got the dude who's got his arms up like this, it's probably gonna ruin it for a lot of people. But I've got faith in Glenn Schofield because, when EA isn't breathing down his neck, he just made some really damn good games and some damn good horror games. So hopefully this is good. I don't know how or why this was even remotely set in the PUBG universe, but
I guess we'll find out.
I didn't know there was a PUBG universe until...
There is now.
That was news to me.
It was weird that at the beginning of the video, everyone was like, "Wow, is this Dead Space?" And I don't know. I think it was just the hologram that gave us the similar tech that made.
I think it was the thing on the neck as well. It's very Dead Space.
Did they have a thing
the
on the neck?
bar on the neck.
Yeah, some sort of mechanical something or other.
Yeah, it's like a green holographic bar on the back of his neck. I'm like, oh, so it's basically the health bar again from Dead Space, which is an ingenious piece of game design, I want to say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, more games should incorporate
anything that
health
removes an element of the HUD and makes it a more realistic sort of fashion that immerses you more into the game is a good thing.
Yeah, Polygon has a really cool video on this. If y'all ever want to check it out, it's about, they interview one of the people who did the game design for Dead Space, and he talks about it. So.
Yeah, I also watched a video about Dead Space. I think it's Ars Technica that does a series called War Stories. And they did one with Glenn Schofield talking about some of the moments in the first Dead Space and designing that, and that's a really good video as well. Another one of the announcements from last night, there's a couple more that I want to talk about here. Another one is called Open Roads. This is a new game from Fulbright, the developers of Gone Home, being published by Annapurna. And I haven't played Gone Home, so that developer doesn't mean much to me, but the fact that it's being published by Annapurna, that says quality to me.
Yeah, this trailer gave me distinct What Remains of Edith Finch vibes in the best possible way. I was very, very excited for this. I think the art style is lovely. I think it is going to get deep in a really fun way, and I'm very psyched for this. This was actually number one on my text that I sent yesterday. I don't know why this stuck with me as powerful as it did, but I'm just... I think I said yesterday, I can tell that I really want to go outside. I'm really stuck inside during a pandemic because the top two games I was looking forward to are Open Road and Season, which are just involve going outside.
Yep.
So maybe that's some mentally where I'm at, but I'm super looking forward to this game.
I would say this is
Yeah.
also Disco was my top pick, and Seasons was probably my second, but this is likely my third. It gave me big Life is Strange vibes. I
Yeah.
love Fulbright also was behind Tacoma, which was another great game. I also think Gone Home is a great game, so I'm really excited for this. They've made 2 great games already, so I'm really excited to see what they'll do with this. It seemed really open-ended. Yeah, I'm also super interested in this game and hope it's good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of open-ended road trip games, there was also Road 96, the procedurally generated road trip game. I want to say that I think what it showed, like the trailer started like someone on the phone or whatever, and then I think it's in first person where you're basically just exploring a countryside, trying to escape from a dictator or something. I want to say, and you can choose whether you want to ride up with a bunch of people. That game, it's from the same guys who did Valiant Hearts and Memories Retold. It says so. I'm familiar with Valiant Hearts, but not Memories Retold. But I think out of all of the road trip games, I think the idea of a procedurally generated road trip game probably sounds the most unique.
Was that the one that I said looked like Life is Strange?
Possibly.
Am I confusing the two? Maybe I'm confusing the two.
Well, I mean, they all looked very Life is Strange. Like, they all have, like, very similar, like, art styles and such. So, yeah. But, like, it looked very... It looked weirdly intense, yet also kind of relaxing in a weird way. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a game I'm going to keep an eye out for, because that probably looked, to me, at least the most unique game out of the 3 very beautiful and very beautiful road trip games that were displayed at the Game Awards.
Definitely. Now, one of the last things as well, Back for Blood was revealed 3 times throughout the event.
Yes.
Now, this is the new game from, I think they're called Turtle Rock. Is that correct?
Yep.
The original developers of Left 4 Dead. And it's a game in the same vein. It looks like a Left 4 Dead game. It's coming to a bunch of platforms, including PlayStation 5, on June 22nd. It looks fun. So are you guys going to play this or any of the other Back 4 Blood type games that were announced?
If it's through PS Plus, sure, but I'm usually not the type who like unless it's like $30 or something, I probably won't buy into it, just because I think, you know, those not wave-based, but like those very
the
like
co-op
mission
Left 4 Dead style
co-op
games.
sort of Left 4 Dead style shooters, like they only hold my attention for so long personally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can totally but at the same time, I can totally see some people absolutely loving this.
Yeah, I'm the same as Mitch. If it's on PS Plus, I'll definitely play it. And I should have a PS5 by then. And then if it's like $20 and there's a lot of interest with my friends who play video games, then I might pick it up. I do enjoy Left 4 Dead too. I played that a couple of times with folks. And it's great. So I don't see why this wouldn't just be that, but better. Better graphics, better gameplay, more different zombies or monsters, whatever. So yeah, it looked okay. I mean, I wasn't super hyped or whatever because I didn't get into Left 4 Dead 2 like some people did back in the day. I didn't really have a ton of people to play with, and I just didn't have I wasn't doing PC gaming back then. So maybe it was on other consoles too, but yeah, I just never played Left 4 Dead as a franchise very much. A couple times I did. I had fun though.
I know Marvel's very interested in this game. He's not here with us today, but he's here in spirit, I'm sure. So there is at least somebody at PSPremiere who's excited for it. Bob, are you excited for Back 4 Blood?
No, not tremendously. I kind of fall into the same boat as Dory and Mitch. If this is on sale, if this is a PS Plus, if this is like an Epic Game Store giveaway, I'm all about it. But I don't think I'm going to be, paying $60 right up front, unless I really have a fervent a couple of friends that are like, we need to play this.
Yeah.
Though,
Plus,
to
I
be
think,
fair,
you know,
oh yeah, please.
if you haven't played back 3 Blood, you probably wouldn't even get it.
I'm lost on the story already.
Yeah.
I'm behind the 8 ball as is. But there was another co-op game yesterday. I saw a big Sega logo and I got excited. Endless Dungeon,
Right.
I believe it was called. 4-player co-op. It looked kind of, I don't want to say this name in vain, but Hades-esque. But in a robo future setting and 4-player co-op. And like, if that's the formula they chose to do, I'm all for it. The little CG trailer they showed before it seemed a little tower defense-y, which I think like made me back away for a minute, like lowered my expectations, because that's just not my thing personally. But if we can get like a 4-player co-op Hades-esque, maybe dual stick shooter, it's still kind of unclear exactly what it's going to be. I'm into that. That sounds more up my alley and has the same co-op appeal. And it's almost definitely not going to be $60 based on what the trailer looked like. So that's the meal I'm going with.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game looked interesting. I think I'll be honest, I was quite tired at the time because the show
was
went
a long
on.
show.
The show went on quite long, and I think that was probably at the point I started to tune out. But I do remember that game. I think that looked quite cool. Maybe not up my alley per se. But obviously, at the end of the show, one of the biggest announcements, everyone was very excited about. We thought it was going to be Starfield or Elden Ring.
I thought it was
something.
Mass Effect. I called that it was Mass Effect.
And you said it was Mass Effect.
Get the hell out of here. I called in the first 5 seconds it was Mass Effect.
Okay, you said it was going to be Mass Effect. I said you were wrong. And I was right, everybody. I'm here to proclaim that it was not, in fact, Mass Effect. No, it was Mass Effect. Dory was right. Congratulations. You win nothing.
Inevitable disappointment from the BioWare studio.
Hey!
Yeah.
Sorry, BioWare. I love you, but I mean, get your act together.
Yeah.
At least they didn't call it Andromeda 2 . If there's any...
I would have been excited because Andromeda's the only one I've played, and I thought it was good. It's my understanding, as someone who hasn't played the original 3 games, that the character who was shown at the end of the trailer is a character from those first 3 games. So I guess that was a reveal of sorts that this game, because we already knew the game was coming. They already announced it a while ago. So I guess there's some confirmation of that it's going to be tied into the original trilogy in this.
I think somebody said, and I don't know if this was a joke or not, but somebody said that you could see like basically the main antagonist of Mass Effect in the background, which are basically called Reapers, but I don't know if that's actually true. Somebody said it.
Yeah, and I think
detail that I missed. I don't know.
I think it was Mike Gamble. It might have been somebody else. I don't remember. Said on Twitter that the fact they showed 2 galaxies side by side at the start of the trailer is significant in some way.
Well, because Andromeda was in a completely different galaxy, so I mean, no, because they wouldn't be that close together. Wouldn't think, but that could be.
It could just
be hinting towards. Yeah, could be just a little visual representation or hint towards the fact that we might be able to explore both galaxies.
The most ambitious crossover of all time.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't exactly call crossing over with Andromeda ambitious, but it's ambitious in its own way, you know.
Yeah. So, any Mass Effect fans in the audience? No, sorry, I should say not the audience, in the panel.
Oh.
So many people are yelling at their phones right now. Going, yes, yes.
I love Mass Effect.
we don't care about you. I want to know about the panel.
But, no, but seriously, I mean, I don't know. I'm keeping my expectations tepid. If they nail the remaster, then I'm going to be interested in what they have to say. But if they botch it, I don't know.
The thing is, even if they do good on the remaster, that's a purely technical endeavor. So there's that's no guarantee that their storytelling is going to be.
It's not a guarantee, but I mean, at least I'll know that they can at least still competently put that together. If they've got the bare bones, the basics for that, then maybe they can do more. I mean, obviously, it's no guarantee, but I'd at least like to see something good from BioWare. They had the Dragon Age thing, and I guess that's gonna.
Oh right, yeah, Dragon Age.
Yeah, there was also a trailer for Dragon Age. I'm not really interested in Dragon Age. Are you guys?
Not either. No.
It's not my thing either. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say I'm kind of biased in that none of my predictions for announcements came true at all. Like, we didn't get a Bioshock 4 reveal, we didn't get a Resident Evil 8 trailer, we didn't get an Outlast Trials trailer, we didn't get like a Lego Star Wars trailer I also had down there. Like, none of my predictions came true. So I was a little bummed on that, but I think out of the new things that we did see, a lot of them, weirdly enough, the road trip games weirdly excited me a lot.
There were a lot of games with you going outside and exploring, and I just can't help but think that may be influenced by 2020.
Yeah,
a little bit, yeah. But
I think,
I mean, kind of in the best way there.
The most surprising thing.
Tourism.
The most surprising thing for me was that they revealed the title of the new Mass Effect game was going to be Mass Effect Coming Soon.
No, it's Mass Effect Will Continue.
Was it?
Yeah, will continue.
Yeah.
You know, with the famous protagonist will continue.
Of course. All right. Okay.
William H. continues.
Yeah.
I love how like their big like mic drop announcement moment of the night was something that we've already known for about a month at this point.
Right.
Like,
yeah, we already knew that they were making another Mass Effect game. They announced that with the remaster. So
yeah. Like, I mean, sure, like, it's good to have a CG trailer, but, like, the CG trailer could be, like, currently the only thing that's been made in the development process so far, for all we know. So, really, it doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean much.
No.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up, pretty much. That's everything. If you missed the Game Awards, then we did a live reaction stream to that, so that's up on our channel. You can go and watch that. Bob, did you watch our reactions?
I have seen about half of it because I've live watched it yesterday, and I didn't think it was going to be 3+ hours because I fully intended on watching your reactions and then all of MinMax's reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out after 3.5 hours of it, I could not do all three back to back.
So you didn't watch all of our reactions? Okay, that's it. I'm ending the podcast right now. I'm
Oh,
ending it now.
no.
You've ruined it, Bob. You've ruined it.
Careful,
So,
Bob. He's going to come over to your house now.
He's going to steal my Metal Gear books.
I'm going to kill you and take your inheritance. I really am going to...
It all comes back full circle
It
again.
all comes full circle.
Yep. Wrap it up.
I really am going to end the podcast now, though. I'm not joking. So, yeah, like I said, we did have the reaction stream, so you want to go back and... If anyone wants to go back and have a look at that, that was a good time. I'll maybe do some kind of highlight reel. I don't know.
That could be
this
fun,
will be the last podcast for the year. So we'll come back next year. We still got our Game of the Year stuff coming up. That'll be hopefully next week and the week after that. Because it's going to be in 2 parts. That'll be a lot of fun. Other than that, I'm not sure what we have coming. Bob, do you have anything you want to plug?
Me? Little me? Yeah, 2 quick things. One, if anyone wants to listen to me yammer on with other wonderful folks, 99 Questions is the podcast. It's available on all the podcasty things. The number 99 Questions. And if you see a nice little purple and gold logo, that's me. And secondly, hey, anyone listening to this, it takes 2 minutes. Just write a quick review. Go on your podcast app of choice and give PSPremiere a quick 5 stars and write a review. Go on the YouTube channel, give them a thumbs up. It takes 2 minutes out of your day, and it will tremendously help all the algorithms that control our daily life. So
jump on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, etc. Thank you. Give 99 Questions a 5 stars as well. Bob's over here trying to steal my job. He's doing all the things I probably should do at the end of the podcast. So yeah, check out 99 Questions with Bob Buel. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you not next week. Well, we will see you next week for the Game of the Year stuff, but we'll see you next year for the main podcast. So bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I can't imagine Christopher Nolan being a gamer or playing any
just
form
thinking
of video
about that.
game.
Are you
Actually,
kidding? You could tell he just got off a Fortnite sesh before he went to present that award.
Yeah, Turtle Beach is on. Yeah, he was all there.
Yeah. Fortnite sesh with the lads, you know, you've got
with his
Leonardo
buddy Noobmaster
DiCaprio.
69.
Got Michael playing Fortnite with Michael Caine, you know.
Michael Caine is
the same way weird. It seemed like he did not
Where we're dropping chaps. No, he didn't. Not at all.
Sir Michael, if you need more V-Bucks, you can just ask.